Careers are often measured by the number of championships won. So for three men who have never won an NBA title but are destined for the Hall of Fame, tonight takes on added significance. Houston trails 3-2. But Charles Barkley knows a Rockets victory keeps his hopes of a ring alive, while a Jazz win means John Stockton and Karl Malone head to their first NBA Finals ever.
Moment has come, the eyes of the world are waiting to see. This is your time to claim your place in history. Standing tall with your face to the wind, you've waited all of your life. Finding your strength from within, making your hopes come alive. Capture the dream, give it all for the team. The call of the glory, the thrill of the game. This is the moment the whole world can see. Go for the gold with total control. Feet in the fire, burning deep in your soul. One vision, one goal, to capture the dream.
Two teams, one dream. Game 6 is next.
Capture the dream.
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1997 NBA playoffs. Tonight, Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals between the Utah Jazz and the Houston Rockets.
This is the summit in Houston, the home of the Houston Rockets, who tonight are serious, focused, intense, but not desperate. Desperation is not a part of the equation where the Houston Rockets are concerned. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. I'm Greg Gumbel. 13 times in their history under head coach Rudy Tomjanovich, the Houston Rockets have been here before. 11 times they have come away a winner. There is no quit. This is very familiar territory for the Rockets. Working alongside me, as always, Bill Walton and Steve Jones. Let's first talk about these Rockets. Hakeem Olajuwon is averaging 30 points a game in this series, yet they're down a game. Is he too much of a one-man gang?
Greg, Hakeem has been near perfect, but history teaches us that the team invariably beats the individual. And when Hakeem has had the ball inside in the low post, everybody has been standing around, making it impossible for Hakeem to pick out cutters. There's none of that. There's no screens on the weak side, and Hakeem consequently turns the ball over time and time again. The inside-out game has been unproductive. Hakeem unwilling, reluctant to pass the ball out, even when three guys are on him. By the time he does kick it out, too late, clank. And that was the story of Game 5 for the Houston Rockets at Utah. 0 for 13 for the artillery gunners from behind the line. But the big story is always Charles Barkley, who was a monster out of the blocks. Big start, but nothing the rest of the way. Now, this Houston Rocket team, they need to gel right now, or it's going to be a long and bitter summer here in South Texas, Greg.
All right, Bill, the Utah Jazz in position to clinch tonight. Karl Malone, Steve, has gotten a lot of the publicity, and rightly so, but a guy named John Stockton has had a heck of a series.
There's no question about it, Greg, and how important is John Stockton? On every scouting report it says, contain Stockton, control the Jazz. A year ago in the conference finals, John Stockton less than 100%. You see what a healthy John Stockton means and what he can do for the Utah Jazz. And Karl Malone, who has been subpar on the road, is going to have to come closer to his home court numbers. If they do, they're headed for their first finals, Greg.
All right, Steve, working the sidelines with us, as always, Jim Gray. Jim.
All right, thank you very much, Greg. Well, as you just said just a couple of moments ago, Rudy Tomjanovich and the Rockets are quite familiar with elimination. So I asked Rudy T, what did he say to his team in his pregame speech? He said, I said absolutely nothing. I asked him if there were any questions. There were no questions. Then he took the black drape off his bulletin board. This usually has all sorts of plays and strategy on it. Tonight, it had absolutely nothing. All it said is, believe in yourselves, Believe in your teammates. Do it together. Playing hard won't be enough. We must play smart. At that point, Mario Elie gathered the team together and he said, guys, we're known as the team with the heart of a champion. That means absolutely nothing now. We must prove it once again. Greg?
All right, Jim, great series with great players. 5 of the 50 greatest of all time on the same floor. Barkley, Drexler, olajuwon, Malone, Stockton, all getting set for Game 6. Hannah Storm in New York after a timeout, and then the opening lineups and the starting of Game 6 from Houston. The fans are pumped for Game 6 here at the Summit. Here are the starting lineups. Familiar names and numbers by now. First for the Utah Jazz. In the backcourt, Jeff Hornacek in his 11th season, John Stockton in his 13th. Up front, Greg Ostertag out of Kansas, Karl Malone, the league MVP, along with Brian Russell, and the head coach of the Utah Jazz, 9 years in Utah, 9 postseason appearances, Jerry Sloan. And now for the Houston Rockets. In the backcourt, the rookie from Penn, Matt Malone, along with Clyde Drexler, who is averaging 17 points a game, 14 in this series. Up front, Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, Mario Elie, the head coach, Rudy Tomjanovich. The Utah Jazz trying to win on the road, something they have rarely accomplished in the final. Utah has come up with 1 road victory in the Western Conference Finals history. That coming in Game 5 last year at Seattle. They had to go to overtime to do it. We're underway in the opening tap to Utah.
The start is everything for the Utah Jazz tonight. They have got to be sharp and crisp because they are in hostile territory, and this crowd is going to be the extra pump that the Rockets need to get a victory.
Hornacek, the runner down the lane, in and out, tapped up by Ostertag.
When you attack Hakeem, he's going to come to every ball. It's going to leave offensive rebounding opportunities to Ostertag.
Down low to Olajuwon, and it's out of bounds to the Rockets. The officials for the game this evening: Dick Bavetta, Ed F. Rush, and Steve Jabby. Back to Hakeem, across the lane. Back outside to no one, out of bounds to Utah.
Hakeem not reading the defense. Again, no motion around him. The Rockets have to anticipate and outthink the Jazz in their game plan. Another easy layup inside.
Ostertag from Stockton. Way to anticipate, Bill.
A little early.
4-0 Utah.
This is a play, pick and roll, with just Drexler into the middle.
We've talked about how Hakeem Olajuwon gets the ball in the middle, and the Rockets have been standing around. There's been some criticism. Rudy Tomjanovich doesn't seem terribly concerned about it.
He's proud of the way the team played. That's the way the Rockets won 2 championships. Those jumpers have absolutely got to fall, though, for this offensive scheme to work.
5 on the shot clock. Hornacek puts it up and in.
The whirly bird working early for Hornacek.
The whirly bird?
Oh, that's a move that you come out when all else fails.
Olajuwon with the jumper. Every point has come in the paint so far in this game. Utah by 2. Malone turnaround. Drexler back to Elie in the middle. Recovered to Barkley and swatted away by Hornacek.
The Rockets need to get to the foul line.
Taken away by Olajuwon.
And here comes Hakeem.
Elie, and that's an offensive foul.
do well at home, it's because they get fast break opportunities. They've had 2 of them early, haven't been able to convert. Ellie a little bit out of control, and Russell doing a good job of drawing that foul.
Malone turnaround. That is the shot Charles Barkley says he will give Karl Malone.
There's nothing Charles can do about that shot. Even though the Jazz off to the fast start, I might see Karl go to the basket and get to the foul line.
Olajuwon comes up short, poster tag rebound. Here comes Utah again with the ball in a 4-point lead. Batted away from Malone, recovers, and the shot up, no good. Follow it.
Soft, careless passing by the Rockets.
Barkley, and Barkley draws the foul. That's number 1 on Malone.
That pass had a direction, it had a mission, it was supposed to get to Drexler. What the Rockets are trying to do a better job of rebounding the ball, push early, get a quick opportunity. That allows Barkley to get down deep. The defense isn't as set. First trip to the line.
Barkley in the 2 victories for Houston, 19.5 points a game in their 3 losses, under 13 a game.
In Game 5, particularly quiet performance. This is a night 20 and 20 for Charles Barkley, and a little less talk.
8-6 Utah, coming up on 8:20 to play first quarter.
Story for the Jazz has been they've been able to be the team that's out in front in all 5 games, first quarter and at the break.
Olajuwon got a piece of that layup try by Stockton, who comes along the baseline and lost it.
Hakeem with his first block of the game. In Game 5, for all the great defensive work Hakeem did, he only got 1 block shot. He'll need huge stops down the stretch here for Houston to extend this series.
There's a reach-in foul called on Brian Russell. If I recall, that block shot came in the first minute and a half of play, and he didn't get another one after that.
He was in the air a million times, but never touched one. The Jazz throwing him over the top and converting on offensive stickbacks.
The Rockets trying to pick and roll for Drexler early. You'd like to see them come back to that same play. You're going to get a foul against Matt Malone trying to cut through the lane, doing his imitation of John Stockton, but he hasn't learned how to draw fouls yet.
I think it takes 13 years to get to that one.
Russell trying to post up Mario Ellie, and now Malone will come down low instead, outside to Russell. Brian Russell with his first basket of the night.
When Russell has that sort of bounce to his step and a quick shot attempt rather than thinking and waiting, much more effective.
Barkley, foul.
This is the Charles Barkley the Rockets need as Stockton picks up his foul first on the evening. Barkley is moving side to side as opposed to trying to back up straight down.
Barkley back at Malone. Fakes once, outside. Hakeem Olajuwon has 4, and the Jazz lead is 2.
Those are the kinds of shots he missed in Game 4, but he was at point-blank range.
Backs his way in, spinning, and got fouled by Ostertag. Malone wants the pushing off foul against Barkley. He's not going to get it. Jerry Sloan takes up the call.
Another terrible call on Ostertag. Barkley steps up and under to Hakeem, who is in the zone already on the offensive end.
And Rudy Tomjanovich likes what he sees on that play. 10-8 Utah when we come back. Back at the Summit in Houston, the Jazz with a 2-point lead, 6:46 to play in the first quarter, and Karl Malone with his 1 of 5 start, and we've seen him miss a layup, eerily reminiscent of Game 4 here last Sunday.
Yes, and you can see from the shot chart that Malone is right in his office where he wants to be, and now he's got to make these shots pay. And you look at his series total, and you can see game to game where he's been strong. It's been at home. It has not been on the road.
But the nicest thing about Karl Malone, what he said coming in today, was that they want to win in this building. The Rockets have done that back to the Jazz up in Salt Lake City in years past. They want to rub it in the fans' faces here in Houston.
Barkley hits the first. Let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim.
All right, thank you very much, Greg. During that timeout, Rudy Tomjanovich told his team, hey, we got to get everybody involved, particularly Clyde Drexler. He said, guys, quit ignoring him offensively. Get him the ball. Greg?
All right, Jim. Barkley gets 1 of 2, and the Jazz lead it by 1.
The vast majority of the Jazz offensive success has been because of the Rockets' 3 turnovers already.
Malone outside on the second to the lead. And Olajuwon has the loose ball.
I can throw an outlet pass. You can get moving.
Barkley is dominating the basketball. They're trying to get Drexler and everybody else involved in the game, but Barkley wants to establish himself early.
Ellie's 3-pointer off the mark. Russell with the rebound. Utah made 3 of its first 4 shots from the floor. They've missed 6 of their last 8. Malone steps back and hits. Karl Malone with 4.
Karl sets all that up with his early threats of the passes to Stockton and Malone as they cut sharply off of the low post.
And remember the first play of the game they ran, and Drexler got a pick and roll, got right to the heart of the basket. They come back with that for Clyde.
Talking about anticipation.
Utah by 1. Brian Russell went for the steal, and traveling violation is called. 4th turnover by the Rockets.
The Rockets should look for Drexler. He's the one with the energy. He's exploding. He's dunking. Clyde doesn't do a lot of that anymore. The jumper is there. Barkley is forcing it. I'd give it up to Clyde right now.
Howard Isley off the bench now. John Stockton to the bench. Isley did a superb job Tuesday night in Salt Lake City, coming on in relief of a foul trouble John Stockton in the 3rd quarter. Brian Russell, top of the key. 3-pointer is good. Brian Russell gives Utah a 15-11 lead.
You see a picture of Russell. You see there's no fear, no doubt in his eyes. The guys that they're going to have to get to are Howard Isley, Shannon Anderson, and Greg Foster coming off the bench.
Drexler again. The coach says, get the guy involved. The coach knows of what he speaks.
Well, Clyde's been shooting in the 30% range, but he's in the zone offensively tonight, right on the top.
Malone again. Karl Malone as Isley hits the deck. 17-13 Utah.
We've talked so much about the great players. Great players come to play in big games. That's always been part of Drexler's history. The bigger the moment, the better he's going to play. He's ready tonight, so is Elijah Barkley.
Drexler is 3 of 3 from the field so far. They're right back at it again. Drexler tied up in the lane on his way to the basket.
Clyde points up to the video monitor and said, hey, this is a foul, ref. Take a look at this. All ball by Isley.
What was that arm? You didn't see that arm?
That's all ball.
And Steve Jabbie has just corrected the situation. It is Isley to be jumping against Drexler.
They're going to count back.
Malone finds himself alone.
Ostertag finally gets a break.
Ellie tried to steal one underneath.
Foul is on Mario Ellie. number 2 on Ellen. And Eddie Johnson coming off the bench. And the cheers and chants of Eddie go up already. Another Rocket who has performed admirably in the 2 Houston victories and subpar in the 3 defeats. Loose ball picked off now by the Rockets. Drexler. Drexler wants credit for the basket. He's not going to get it.
Into transition, all made possible by terrific scrapping defense. Clyde with his head down, just determined to get to the hoop. He wanted it off the board. Looked like Karl Malone did push it into the board, which is legal.
Drexler at the line, shooting 2.
Kevin Willis will come in at the next available moment. Drexler hits the
Stepping into the game for the Rockets, number 42, Kevin Willis for Team Olajuwon.
So far in this series, Kevin Willis has just come into the game for Olajuwon, who has headed straight for the dressing room.
The way he was running around.
Circles, we call that a walk. 17-14, 17-15 now. Utah by 2 with 3:20 to play in the first.
Nobody's boxing out Ostertag. Every penetration by Utah, Ostertag is free at the offensive glass.
Isley into the lane and back outside again. Shot clock is at 7. Isley the lead for Ostertag for 2.
Ostertag played a great game down here in Game 3 with opportunities just like that at the basket. Got himself started. He has not been involved that much offensively.
Barkley right back at it, and is that an offensive foul? It is. Barkley gets called for the charge. And with that, we'll take time. 2:49 to play. First quarter. The Jazz by 4. This is the NBA on NBC. Welcome back to the Summit. Greg Gumbel, Bill Walton, Steve Jones, and Jim Gray. 1915 Utah. Let's talk about Charles Barkley's work down low, Steve.
Charles Barkley was not active. He really wasn't involved after the first quarter. And tonight, Barkley has been a man on the mission by staying in his office and trying to make some things happen early and keep some offensive presence on Karl Malone. And he's been very effective here in the early part, drawing some fouls and making the defense react to him.
In the field goal department, Utah has attempted twice as many shots as the Rockets. You see the team foul situation. Utah has put up 18 shots to just 9 for Houston. The Jazz lead it by 4.
And Utah shoots the best percentage in the NBA. Howard Isley gets his first 2.
21-15. Jazz 2.5 to go.
The beauty of Utah is that when the role players come in, nothing changes. They stick right to the same plan. Drexler, of course, it doesn't work.
Hornacek with the loose ball. The Jazz with Hornacek, Ostertag, Isley, Karl Malone, Ryan Russell.
Pick and roll. This is where Howard Isley has a chance to get to the middle of the line.
Isley, bounce pass doesn't work, and it's out of bounds to the Rockets.
Houston with Rudy Tomjanovich made the conscious decision. We're going to stay at home with the screener, something that basically no other team does in the NBA. Everybody double teams or forces it back to the baseline, the ball handler. They're staying at home with Karl Malone and Antoine Carr, not letting them get the good looks.
Barkley tries to draw a foul, didn't get the call, rebounded Willis outside. Barkley, strong.
That is in your face. You're talking about a guy giving up huge size and strength to Karl Malone, a turnaround jumper, and put it back right through it.
Under a minute and a half to play now in the first quarter. Malone outside Russell. Shot clock is at 5. Hornacek. Move to the basket. Beautiful shot by Jeff Hornacek. found a way through the outstretched arms of Kevin Willis, 23-17.
Kevin Willis didn't react to the defense initially. That's why Drexler was
Drexler on the move, got the rolled out. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Let's go back to that move by Barkley down low.
Barkley at barely 6'4", Karl Malone 6'10", just turns and jumps right in his face. Charles Barkley knows, as all veterans do, his Hornacek comes right back and just tricks Kevin Willis, who was left out to dry. But Barkley knows that Karl Malone's not going to get in the air defensively down low. He's going to strip every time.
This has been the best start for Drexler in the series. 9 working on 10 at the free throw line here early. And I think Rudy Tomjanovich had a sense that Drexler was going to be ready to play. And in that timeout, he said, get the guy the ball. He's responding.
Drexler with 2, 23-19 Utah and 50 seconds to play.
Steve, did you know that Glenn had no assist? He's looking to put it up.
Also, shot clock at 10 and Kevin Willis out on it. And there's a mismatch somewhere. Also looking for the shot. Down low. Last 10 seconds of the quarter. Russell for 3. And that'll do it for the quarter. Clyde Drexler has 10. Karl Malone has 6. We've played 1. Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. The Jazz lead at 23-21. It's the Jazz who lead at 3 games to 2. The Rockets need this one. We're coming back for the second quarter right after this. As we welcome you back to Houston for the start of the second quarter, we remind you to go online to NBCSports.com for all the latest from the playoffs. Listen to audio clips from the NBA on NBC, vote in our weekly poll, and also check out team-by-team information on the WNBA. Don't forget to check in during the finals and send in your questions to our own Steve Cybersnapper Jones, who will be chatting online throughout every game of the finals. It's all at NBCSports.com. As we get underway here in the second quarter, take a look at the first quarter summary. Utah has yet to go to the free throw line. Olajuwon in the lane.
Quickly returning from the trip to the bathroom and delivering.
That whistle goes, and this goes against the Houston Rockets, and Rudy T is less than pleased.
Hakeem quickly across. He always delivers with that little juke. Coming back to the baseline, that sets up his rhythm for the jumper. Points in the paint. 12-6 in favor, surprisingly, of the Utah Jazz, who now have to rely on Antoine Carr for their offense down low.
Willis with the save. Spins out of bounds. 2.
Out of bounds for Rockets ball.
Willis has done a lot of good things as Karl Malone catches some air.
Malone is sitting down, and now we'll find out whether the bench truth for the Utah Jazz is up to the task. At home, they have been more than capable, and on the road, they've been a little short in Drexler.
Willis with the rebound. Left back up. Willis with the loose ball again. Drexler steps back.
Clyde is just determined to shoot every time. And the way he's stroking it, why not?
Stockton had it batted away by 3. Willis spins and tries to make the pass outside. Picked off by the Jazz. 2-on-1. Russell to Shandon Anderson. He missed the layup.
is a really tough call. Sadeo Threet plays great defense. He's all by himself, back 2-on-1. He fakes and runs away.
Anderson just lost control of the ball. Just as he was about to finish, it spooned out of his hands, but he gets the whistle.
Rookie Shandon Anderson, this is the first, a 75% free throw shooter in the postseason. That's the first Utah free throw of the night. 26-24 Houston.
Which is why I think Karl Malone should start every game driving to the hoop instead of sticking with the fadeaway. You want to establish the foul line presence.
Olajuwon screens in a hurry.
Already Houston has found the jump shots that disappeared in Game 5.
Wall, and it's gonna go the other way as Stockton gets a little contention. 20-second timeout is the call on the baseline.
It's getting loud in here, Greg.
Yeah.
Along the baseline, Stockton, Kevin Willis, I think goes too quickly there. If he would have stayed a little bit longer, unnecessary roughness there.
It is now turned into a full timeout, so we'll pause with 9:51 to play in the first half. 6:59 to play in the first half, and John Stockton, Karl Malone, not exactly performing the way Jerry Sloan would like it. So what happens, Steve?
Well, they have to get other players to step up, and particularly the guys that come off the bench and not going to get big numbers, and they have done it from Isley to Russell to Hornacek, Ostertag. They've all made an effort to keep Utah close here early.
Stockton and Malone combining for just 6 points so far, while everyone else has 20. The Rockets lead at 33-26.
Karl Malone just 1 rebound. Finally, the Rockets run a play to Eddie Johnson. There's a guy that should get 50 shots every single game.
You see the numbers there. Utah has missed 7 of the last 8 shots from the field. Karl Malone back on the floor.
Everything, what he has to be concerned about is getting in early foul trouble. He just as pumped as everyone else, and on that pick and roll, he came late, but he came hard. But they give the foul to Mario.
The team gets careless. So good.
Stockton hits the first.
Stockton has just been marvelous throughout the series. His assists have been coming down, but that's because they're letting him shoot. They're staying with Karl Malone on the pick and roll.
Talking about the pick and roll, Rudy Tomjanovich said that his team never played the Utah pick and roll better than they did in Game 5. The Jazz ran it 25 times and scored just 5 points.
He's a spot-up shooter, not a creator.
Chasing it into the corner.
Jazz heavy with turnovers, and this has been uncharacteristic of them. That is their 8th year in.
Talking to Jerry Sloan about Ostertag's foul problems, he feels that Ostertag's inconsistent performance hurts him when he tries to step up. The referees just don't use it.
Olajuwon back outside. Fighting Malone. Instead, it's out of bounds and belongs to the Jazz. Malone with a good job bouncing it off of Johnson.
But Karl hasn't found that defensive offensive rebound rhythm. He's battling Eddie Johnson, who's not a rebounder anywhere near Karl Malone play.
Eight on the shot clock.
Eddie Johnson almost threw it away. Barkley recovers behind the back and feeds it away.
Charles is the most surprised guy in the building. That ball was even there.
Rockets with their biggest lead. Brian Drexler. One is off. Barkley is there. Across the rim. Jerry Sloan wants timeout.
Charles Barkley possessed tonight to get to those finals. Up the court in transition, finds Ellie. Easy layup there. But the heart and soul, the bread and butter. The one you can go to the bank with, Hakeem, one more time.
Hakeem Olajuwon gets his teammates in an uproar, and the fans too, for that matter. And here comes Utah. They are down 9 as we come up on 20 minutes to go in the first half. Hornacek wide open for three.
What the Pistons get a lot of is transition buckets, and they get a quick one there and close the lead to 6.
Rockets plagued by guys jumping, trying to make passes.
Double team on Olajuwon, back outside. Malone for three. Recovered by Ostertag.
Malone is committed to the shot. Got to look to move that ball. The guys are their feet set.
Suddenly the Utah Jazz are rolling. 20-second timeout now for the Houston Rockets. With 3:20 to play in the first half, the Jazz have cut the Houston lead to 4.
I love the way Karl Malone turned in, keeps two hands on the ball, and almost curls the ball over the top with his turnaround jumper.
The Barkley-Malone matchup has been a fun one to watch in this series.
It has, and Charles Barkley hasn't had to be nearly the scorer for his team to win as Karl Malone, but both are going to have to bring big numbers to get the victory tonight. What's interesting about the Houston Rockets is they had a big lead and relaxed. Up until this point, there have been no relenting in their attitude and their effort. They've got to regain that in the final.
Utah has scored the last 7 points to close to 39-45. Olajuwon back outside.
But not this evening. He's got 10 in the ball game. Big game for Greg Ostertag.
He is 5 of 5 from the floor. He also has 7 rebounds to go along with his 10 points. Olajuwon. Throws it up on the first one. What a shot by Charles Barkley. 43-47. Back to Charles Barkley up against the shot clock.
Along the baseline, Charles knows he's got to get it up. He came one time into the middle. He lost the ball momentarily and has to fade away and bail himself out.
Under 2 minutes to play. Barkley right back at Malone. Easy looks back on the offensive end. for Utah.
What Charles Barkley is doing tonight that he hasn't done any other games is moving quickly. He'd been holding that ball, waiting for the double team, and now he's surprising the defense of Malone with a quick first step, and now he's right in the lane. They're trying to make sure that Malone doesn't get a rhythm in the process, as they did in Game 3. They're shaking Ostertag loose. He's going to the bucket. Malone is final.
Greg Ostertag averages 4 points a game in the postseason. He's got 12 today.
Steve, you hit him on the head. The Rocket post are attacking immediately. No hesitation. Difference in the ball.
Under a minute to go. Malone. Tough shot. Drexler there for the ball. Ellie.
Look at Clyde Drexler playing. Ostertag hurt.
And a timeout is called with 39 seconds remaining. Ostertag down on the baseline. Utah center Greg Ostertag heading for the locker room. He sat out 4 games this year with a strained left knee and just re-injured it on this play. You see him down low and you see him just fall to the baseline. Let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim.
All right, thank you, Greg. Well, it was not his left knee, which had been injured. Greg Ostertag told Mike Szymanski, the Utah trainer, that it was his left ankle. He walked off under his own power. They're going to examine both his knee and his left ankle. He said he felt a little bit of a snap. They'll examine it at halftime. Greg?
All right, Jim, thank you. Back to action. John Stockton on the ground.
And the craftiness is Stockton. He turns that corner. He's looking at the pass. Even though that angle was there to shoot him, he kept looking for the pass. That throws it. Just 4 points.
8 seconds differential in the game. Rockets trying to have the lead for the first time in this series. That's a break.
Shot clock at 5. Barkley slams the ball down in anger.
The long jumper by Stockton rims out as the clock is expiring. Everybody stops and stands except Karl Malone, the MVP, delivering one more time at the buzzer.
Clyde Drexler leading the way with 15 for the Rockets, who lead at 49-43. Hannah Storm in New York for the Prudential halftime report right after this.
Welcome back to Houston as we get ready for the second half. Utah Jazz, Greg Ostertag will play in the second half. Charles Barkley would like to play too. And Dick Bavetta wants him to start. Ostertag's in the lineup. He's going to play. Jerry Sloan unhappy with his team's transition defense. They were outscored 8-1 in fast break points. Rudy Tomjanovich very happy with the first half, except for the last 39 seconds, Greg.
Jim, that's more abuse than any one person should be subjected to. Olajuwon outside and then right back at it. Strip, recovers, back outside. Maloney had a good look, just didn't fall for him. And Maloney is now 0 for 5.
Maloney was the only one that shot the ball well up at Utah from the line. Not so time.
The difference in the game so far is not 3-point field goals. Stockton capturing on his first. It has been the Rockets getting more twos than they've gotten in previous ball games.
And it's keeping the Jazz out of their fast breaking game. Only 1 fast break point tonight for the Jazz.
Jazz has closed to within 3. Drexler with a hand in his face. Malone rebounds and outlets for Russell.
Terrible start.
Jazz in this series. They shoot 50% from the floor in period number 3. Mario Elliott on the run, off the glass. He hit the deck hard. And the foul is going to be against the Utah Jazz.
Number 3, Brian Russell. That's his second personal foul.
Brian Russell, that's number 2.
This is a very difficult shot that Ellie takes. He gets in between and then trying to get the recovery, ggets knocked off his feet. Russell gets the call.
The bounce and the step that we saw for the Rockets early on, not evident here.
That's part of the history of it. The teams sort of get a lead, the Rockets get happy, and then they have to restart.
Olajuwon with the short jumper in the lane. First points of the second half for the Rockets.
That's a pretty good spark plug right there.
Russell draws the foul from Mario Ellie, and that's 3 for Ellie.
Fouls on number 17, Mario Ellie. That's his third personal foul.
Keep saying how the Houston Rockets get complacent sometimes, Steve. Hard to figure out how you can get complacent when you're facing Brian Russell with the 2-pointer.
They get complacent because they're so talented and they think they can just turn it on and do it whenever they want to. Not so against the relentless pressure of the Jazz.
Ostertag facilitated that steal. Malone for Russell, 2 points. And the Jazz have regained the lead, 52-51. And Rudy Tomjanovich says timeout.
Timeout, Rockets!
His team has 2 points since the start of the second half, and Utah has come roaring out of the locker room. Malone on the break, the feed for Brian Russell, and the Jazz are on top by 1. The Utah Jazz, a perfect 4 for 4 from the field here in the second half, and it's brought them roaring back into the lead.
At the top, we said the team always beats the individuals. Everybody getting involved. Movement without the ball. The anticipation that you will get it forces you to move quicker. The best passing team in the Western Conference all year. They're just taking it right to the Houston Rockets and couldn't have had a worse start.
Kind of an answer. The Rockets come up with Drexler loses control. It's out of bounds.
Out of bounds, still Rockets ball.
And 9 on the shot clock.
What happens to the Rockets emotionally is they get a double-digit lead. They try to kill a team very quickly with 3-point plays. They make mistakes, allow the opponent to get back in. Barkley, at least the clock gets nothing done.
Malone battled away from Barkley. Here comes Stockton. Finds Hornacek. Slows it down. Goes down low to the rim.
Opportunities and the energy and the intensity right now belonging to the Utah Jazz.
14 for Karl Malone, 3-point lead for Utah. The triple team had him smothered.
Rockets not anticipating.
Fadeaway. Malone with 16.
This is a clinic.
Drexler for 3. Rockets have gone back to the long-range game and producing
Always able to get the thing.
When you play the Utah Jazz, you have to play smart. Right now, the Rockets are not playing smart. In the first 24 minutes, it's a very smart basketball game. Struggling right now.
Barkley gets his own rebound. Got the basket and he'll go
What the Rockets have to do is just weather this storm and regain their rhythm and presence out on the floor.
But Steve, the Rocket postmen are not picking up that diving guard, the guy that's coming down to him on the spin, on the step through across the middle. And that guy is causing defensive problems all second half here.
Greg Ostertag drew his third personal Barkley 56-53 Utah. 7 minutes to play in the third.
Hornacek has been the forgotten man for Utah. No complaints, just keep working.
Now, something lost, and they quickly stopped play. They'll restart it with the Rockets on the side. What the Rockets have to do is now come back in all areas with more intensity, energy, and effort. They thought that the game was over in the first 24. Now someone's got to remind them there's still about 18 minutes to play.
Drexler outside, gets it back, puts it up. Clyde Drexler with 18 on the night, and 58-56 Utah.
Maybe the Rockets didn't warm up properly. Maybe they just crept in and stood around, thought they would get it going.
The fans now coming to their feet and getting back into this game. For three, Jeff Hornacek.
Stockton with the smart decision, passed up a little jumper. Hornacek was parked in camp. 5-point lead.
Time Hakeem didn't take his head off Stockton the whole way down. He read it, just ripped the ball right through the little man.
10-1, 58. With the miss, olajuwon looks for the long outlet and chooses Malone instead. Touched by the Jazz.
Drexler trying to pump Malone up, who really appears out of this game.
Well, Malone goes as his offensive production goes, and he's 0 from the field, trying to get something there, and Stockton steals it.
Barkley with the giveaway, and Stockton back in a hurry. Down away by Drexler, and that belongs to the Jazz.
Malone got that dazed look in his eyes, and Rudy Tomjanovich is going to take him out, so they'll feed in Howard Isley and Stockton down. Now, you always look for moments when you can get back in a game. When Stockton goes out of the game, that's when the defensive energy of the Rockets definitely has to be greater, and they got to force Isley further out on the floor.
Isley hasn't hurt him a bit in this series, but he's helpful.
Second, it's number 1.
The team says, why not? That should be end 1.
On Drexler.
So Dale 3 really providing a spark here.
When you look for tentative play, you look for it at big moments, and Isley and Ostertag starting to sputter just a little bit.
came down just barely over the fingers of Brian Russell.
Personal tag on the baseline belongs to Houston.
Young telling Ostertag, go strong.
Right back to call Malone for Utah here. You got to get this crowd back in their seats. Here's his jumper right there.
5-on-2, 3 to Drexler. Comes out of the pack with the basketball and a new 24 for Utah.
Get a rebound, please. One time. 27. With the rebound and draws the foul. He is a Clyde Drexler kind of night, isn't it? Doing it all, Clyde Drexler from Barkley the first time, planting that right leg. That's his step-through motion. And then on the break, Sadeo Freed, who's just been doing everything in relief of Matt Malone, comes in the air, freezes the defense. Drexler with the strong finish. Houston in control. 2:19 to play, third quarter. Houston leads by 5. We remind you, regardless of the outcome tonight, NBC will have NBA action coming your way Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If the Rockets win, we'll have Game 7 between the Jazz and the Rockets. If Utah wins tonight, we'll begin with Showtime at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by Game 1 of the NBA Finals from Chicago, the Utah Jazz and the Chicago Bulls. Either way, it's going to be a pretty interesting Sunday afternoon.
Going to be a terrific Sunday afternoon. Right now, the Utah Jazz have to resettle. Stockton goes out of the game. They lose control. Barkley kind of dribbles right in.
Barkley going to force it up and draws the foul. Ostertag walks away.
This is a really tough call on Ostertag. Barkley's in the lane, 9 seconds. Pump faking, pump faking. 4 fouls now on poor Greg, who has to go to the bench. And the other Greg comes in, Foster.
Barkley to the line. Barkley is 3 for 5 from the free throw line tonight.
Way go, baby.
It's the first. Let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, Greg, during the last timeout, Jerry Sloan told his guys, hey, guys, be patient on offense. Make the extra pass. Don't rush it. The only reason they get their runs is because it's off the transition on your bad shot. Now, as for Rudy Tomjanovich, he told his guys, play smart, play under control. Greg?
All right, Jim. 2:05. Barkley goes 1 for 2 from the line. The Rockets lead by 6. 2 minutes.
2 minutes remain in the period.
Josh should try to get Brian Russell for the first time. Parade to the foul line for the home team continues. Karl Malone has not gotten to the line at all in any of the games in Houston. He gets back in, plays
you done?
Been watching that guy throwing himself into the defender.
Says, hallelujah, I got 2 that time. 71-63, under a minute and a half to play.
While Houston built this lead, Hakeem sucks there and getting ready for a big fourth quarter.
Malone forces the shot up.
They say on the side, Malone would walk it to the line and give Steve Gabby that look down like, hey, come on.
Foul is on Kevin Willis. That's his first.
Which is the first for Kevin Willis, who had, in all the other ball games, has just been hammered, and on the bench, he's come in with foul time.
Malone, that won't count either.
No shot.
And the foul.
Clyde Drexler once again. All the
And that's
pushing.
number 2 on Drexler.
Excuse me, Greg. All the pushing and the shoving by the guards. Hornacek just walking down. Like, that's not a foul on Clyde Drexler.
But you know with Steve Gabby, you don't get a chance to have this conversation. And Drexler's got a sensational game going. He doesn't want to get on the wrong side of Gabby. Best to let it go.
Hornacek gets the first.
Now watch Jeff Hornacek say hello to his kids. He'll wipe his face, and that's his signal. That's the only way he can say hello, and then he'll make the free throw.
What does he do when he's sweating? Hornacek gets 2 out of 2. 71-65 Rockets. Barkley right back at Malone to the baseline. Reverse too high. Malone has the rebound. Here comes Utah.
Rockets gambled and trying to make a steal, and Hornacek made him pay 9 1/4.
Clyde Drexler just called off the play.
Now, this is the same way the Rockets ended their first half. They got a little casual, they got a little careless. John Stockton rushing in. They want to make sure they get a score. The Rockets had built the lead to 8. Now it's down to 4.
John Stockton is back with 56 seconds to play in the third.
First full stretch of the series for Iceland.
With 5 seconds remaining in the third. Barkley with Malone on it, puts it up.
That's the end of the third period. The Houston
John Stockton with a 3-pointer gives Houston the momentum as we head to the fourth. We've played 3. Utah looking to clinch. The Rockets looking to stay alive. 71-70. Houston will be back to Houston after these messages from your local station. Charles Barkley, one of 5 future Hall of Famers in action tonight. Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler for the Houston Rockets. On the other side of the floor, Karl Malone and John Stockton. Some of these Hall of Famers will go home, if not after this game, then after Game 7 on Sunday. The others will move on in pursuit of an NBA title.
This series has been so good, I don't ever want it to end.
Utah scored the last 7 points of the third quarter.
Very slow and just pounding the side of his head. Can't believe his Jazz aren't going to the line. Not a good sign here. He's rubbing that right shoulder.
And still grabbing.
Summit that's been the defender against olajuwon, and they'll see if they can't get olajuwon cooking, who's been really feasting on the center of the Utah Jazz.
Rockets starting this quarter with Barkley on the bench. 7 points for Eddie Johnson.
So Dale Freed again making it happen with the right decision up top.
Malone has 20. Back to a 1-point game.
They didn't so loud in New York. He didn't even know the whistle had been blown. Eddie Johnson a moment ago steps by Stockton, who didn't close out properly. And then when Karl Malone can hit this type of fadeaway jumper facing up.
The problem is team fouls as Foster has that pain look on his face. 3 fouls against Greg Foster, 3 team fouls. The next 2, the Rockets are in the penalty. That means the free throws could make a big difference for them in winning the game. They go back to Elijah.
Nice dump down pass. Utah is doubling down immediately on the team. He's got to make a play.
This is a good play by the offense, and Stockton gets inside, makes the right read. Carr is there, a better reaction by the defense of the Houston Rockets and Kevin Willard.
8 on the shot clock. Technically, this is a screen. Realistically, it's a brick wall.
Just a little bit of lean. That's a good flop by Eddie Johnson to draw that foul.
Oh, I'll bet it wasn't all flop.
About 100%.
Key, fadeaway, big slot.
Sammy Anderson wide open.
And blocked by olajuwon. Eddie Johnson. Just a few moments ago, Eddie Johnson finishing off the spurt by the Rockets with a shot that was called a three-pointer, but I think you'll see Eddie's feet clearly on the line.
There was so much excitement in here. The refs not able to pick it up, something that will really hurt Utah. Hakeem's got 6 blocks on the night, 3 this quarter.
But that's the home court advantage. The little things like that with the crowd going crazy can make a difference between winning and losing.
Russell dishes off the Carr, who can't get it to fall.
Go smart for Houston now. Jim Gray reporting that the Jazz are not going to quit.
Well, they haven't. They've shown that they can withstand the runs that the Rockets have thrown on them. And the Rockets cannot afford to get happy and thinking the game is over. Almost 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Inside, and he drew the foul. That'll be Kevin Willis.
You see Carl rubbing that right palm. He's got a big open sore on that hand. Suffered in the earlier playoff series.
Karl Malone's first trip to the free throw line tonight. Comes to 9:09 to play in the fourth quarter. Losses Utah has suffered in this series, Malone averaged 3.5 free throw attempts a game. In their 3 victories, almost 10 free throws a game. belongs to the Jazz.
Get a rebound. Kevin Willis is matched up against Shandon Anderson on that rebound and couldn't even control.
24 on the clock for Utah. Stockton to the baseline, back outside. Malone picks up the jumper and hits. Karl Malone, 23 tonight.
Now there's a reason why he's not getting to the free throw line. Make him a lot of jumpers and not, the ball away and not having the contact on it.
Olajuwon, and that foul is Antoine Carr. That's 3 on Carr. Let's go back to Karl Malone's jump shot.
Karl Malone's phenomenal improvement in perimeter face-up jump shooting. It's just frustrating Rudy Tomjanovich, one of the game's great shooters in his own right. Also, the Rocket big men, Barkley and Willis, are not gambling on Karl in defensive low post.
Olajuwon's got to continue to go to the basket.
Meanwhile, all you have to do is continue to go to Clyde Drexler. 82-75 Houston. Drexler comes up with the loose ball. Barkley wants to go one-on-one with Malone. Turnaround. And Shandon Anderson has the rebound. Stockton for 3. Big rebound by Olajuwon. Back come the Rockets. And a blocking foul at midcourt on Stockton.
Terrific outlet there by Akeem, and Clyde with that head down doesn't like to turn back to his left. Stockton causing that contact.
That's number 3 on John Stockton.
But that is a 5th team foul, and that's what's so crucial about the effort of Stockton to draw that foul. You can see Stockton trying to pull Drexler in and then draw it by flopping.
27 points for Drexler tonight. Drexler is 4 of 6 tonight from behind the three-point line, and he's hit his last 3.
Akeem with another great defensive stop.
Drexler. Clyde Drexler is absolutely on fire tonight. They are alive and kicking at the Summit here in Houston. 87-75 Rockets, 7:26 to play. We remind you, whatever the outcome of tonight's game, NBC will have NBA action Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. If the Rockets win, we'll have Game 7 from Salt Lake City between the Jazz and the Rockets. If Utah wins tonight, we will begin with Showtime at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by Game 1 from the NBA Finals from Chicago, the Bulls, and the Utah Jazz. Clyde Drexler has led an 8-0 Houston run. He has scored all 8 points, and the Rockets enjoy their biggest lead of the night at 87-75.
Barkley is verbally taunting Malone.
John Stockton with a terrific drive down the lane to break that 8-0 run. Stockton has 9.
Way too early for taunting. 7 minutes to go, a 10-point game, and with the game growing in surges, they have got to continue to drive the ball quickly.
Olajuwon kicks it out. Rudy Johnson on the move. Gets another rebound. Back outside the 3. Back to EJ.
That's basketball. Ball movement
tag with the follow, and he is fouled. Eddie Johnson has had the hot hand. We told you earlier about his shot. We understand that it has been ruled a 2-pointer instead of a 3, and there's Eddie Johnson with the last 3-pointer. That was a 3.
Sedale Threed has played a marvelous floor game. Hakeem Olajuwon, a defensive force, picks up his second foul. He's got 6 blocks and countless intimidations.
13 for Greg Ostertag. That's his first point of the second half.
What Rudy Tomjanovich is coming on here in the final 6:25 is the experience of all of those players that are out there. All of those players are long in the tooth, and this is a game where you cannot afford to fool around with youth.
Hey, stop him! Stop him! Don't stop him!
Charles Barkley was talking to Dick Rivetta, talking about the pushing and shoving going on between himself and Russell.
6:20 to play, fourth quarter.
I'd set up Drexler and Eddie Johnson here.
Barkley right back at Malone. To the baseline, fade away, Malone got it. Utah looking to get the Houston lead down into single digits.
If you're the Rockets, you want the Jazz to have to work every 24 seconds to get a score.
And he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Huge effort by Ostertag that time. Now in the first half, he was finishing at the bucket. Here in the second half, he's missing, but the effort that he put forth to give him a second chance. Stockton with a miss. Ostertag keeps it alive, then gets it back, and a chance back at the line.
Maybe that foot's a little sore on him, too, but he's paying absolutely no respect with letting him go wherever he wants.
Ostertag in his second year out of Kansas.
Ostertag has had a great run in this series from the free throw line. He's normally not that kind of stick to the line, but at 84% and perfect so far tonight.
All the Utah Jazz big men stroke those free throws.
90-81, the Rockets by 9. As we approach 5.5 to play in the fourth quarter.
The reason I say Olajuwon's got to continue to go to work, the free throw as he travels is going to be their ally. If they can just keep bringing the ball to the basket, they get to go to the line, penalty situation up. They haven't taken advantage of that. Here come the Jazz.
Hornacek in the lane. Jeff Hornacek. And Houston wants timeout. 7-point Houston lead, 5:18 to play, fourth quarter. Welcome back to the Summit in Houston. These head coaches, excellent coaches. Rudy Tomjanovich, Jerry Sloan, and maybe we can call this "So You Want to Be a Head Coach in the NBA."
We'll call it sideline anxiety, but what happens is the misery of coaching. Watch the emotions that they go through and put forth.
Guys do that when they're winning. The commissioner, David Stern, right across the way from us, taking in the action.
Jim Gray reporting from Houston's bench. Rudy telling him it's right there, but you got to go get it. It's not going to fall in your lap.
Barkley across the bench. 16 for Barkley. And 5 minutes to play. Malone arguing about a no call. Eddie Johnson.
That's a good shot for Eddie Johnson.
Malone fouled from behind by Barkley. And a great pass inside by John Stockton. That's number 3 on Barkley.
The relentless pressure applied by Utah on the run right at you. Malone able to establish himself so deep in the crisp, sharp entry pass. No denying that.
Malone 1 out of 2 from the line tonight. for the mailman. Rebounded by Drexler.
Problem for the Rockets is they allowed Clyde Drexler to not touch the ball for a lot of times here.
Olajuwon picked outside. Eddie Johnson spins, gets his man in the air off the glass. For the 15-year veteran out of Illinois.
Now, Sloan looked up at the clock and he knows he's right in a crucial period where they got to continue to score the ball, or otherwise this is over and they're headed for Game 7.
Ryan Fidel 3 for the Rockets.
Johnson. Too hard off the glass. Ostertag has it. Coming up on 3.5 to play.
Terrific game for Drexler.
A hired gun. That's what Eddie Johnson has become late in the stages of his career, but he shows you that when you are a shooter, you are sweet. And you can see how he has hurt the Utah Jazz in his career. Some huge gains for Eddie Johnson.
Stops in Kansas City, Sacramento, Phoenix, Seattle, Charlotte, Indiana, and now Houston.
Really plays it out.
Baldwin on the baseline. Stripped by Malone. 3 makes the foul in the backcourt.
Good foul, Fidel 3, who has been the difference here, I think, for the Rockets. Drexler, of course, huge, but Maloney was not getting it done.
Everybody is on their feet here at the Summit. They want one more hoop. They think one more hoop will give them a lead. They're ready to explode. John Stockton at the line.
Stockton 3 out of 3 and 13 points tonight. Home court has ruled so far in this series. Utah won the first 2 games in Salt Lake City. Houston won games 3 and 4. Utah took game 5 back in Utah.
8-point game, 3 minutes to play.
And Brian Russell has his hand in the air before Dick Bavetta makes the call. It's number 3 on Russell.
That's what the Rockets want. They want free throw attempts. They've got to cash in on them. But if they score from the line, that prevents getting a mistake or a missed shot, and they're coming back and scoring themselves.
Not only sharp from the field, 7 for 7 from the free throw line.
You know, what's interesting is how players respond to criticism. What they're saying here, where's been Clyde Drexler? Same thing in Utah, and Karl Malone responded to huge game 5, big game 7 for Drexler, 10 and a quarter for Clyde.
33 on the night. Russell, he drained it. Brian Russell has 12, 96-89 Houston.
Perfect execution of the set offense. Guys, keep it on the move for Utah. Now that's a move right there.
Into the lane. Ostertag got the block and grabbed the loose ball.
Terrific block by Ostertag, and that shows you how long he is.
And 3. Thought he got all ball. That's number 4 on Sedale 3.
On the weak side for the Utah Jazz, they just keep interchanging, screening away, coming back to the ball. Brian Russell gets that jumper right down the lane. All ball, tough call, and Rudy Tomjanovich cannot believe it. He's died 1,000 deaths tonight.
John Stockton, 15 points, 12 assists tonight.
Remember in game 4, the Jazz close with the Fury to tie it up.
And the Rockets call time with 2:20 to play. Fourth quarter, 96-91. Rockets in the lead. We'll be back. There's a great right hand and a great right arm. Evander Holyfield, heavyweight champion. Warren Moon, quarterback extraordinaire. There's our timeout situation with 2:20 remaining. Houston with a 5-point lead. The Rockets need a win to force Game 7 Sunday in Salt Lake City. Your leading scorers.
Finally, good balance for the Rockets, something that the Jazz have had throughout the series. Pick and roll.
Barkley and Russell down low. A little bit of slug goes to the basket as fouled by Ostertag.
A little bit of a shot. When was the last time you were shot by Charles?
That's 5 on Ostertag. Barkley with a bit of a shove to get away from Brian Russell, and then was fouled by Ostertag.
Remember that this is not been a strong night for Barkley from the free throw line. 5-point lead. Everybody exhaling here at the Summit.
Barkley, 6 of 9 from the line. Now 17 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. And Eddie Johnson goes to the bench.
They bring Mario in for some defensive purposes. I wouldn't be surprised if Eddie comes right back. This game is far from over.
Barkley gets them both. 98, 91, under 2 minutes to play.
Great bump by Drexler on Malone.
Brian Russell for 3. Brian Russell with 15, 98-94 Rockets.
Barkley in the post.
The quicker you move the ball, the more difficult it is for the defense to see how quickly Barkley moves against Karl Malone.
Elliott for 3. And rebounded by Malone.
They've gone away from the team. They've gone away from Drexler, and they put Eddie Johnson on the bench.
Stockton into the lane, got it! And the Houston lead is down to 2 with 1:20 to play. Drexler lost it, coming across the lane, Stockton. 3 on 2, keeps it, tie game. 63 seconds remaining. Utah and Houston tied at 98, each team with a full timeout and the 22nd timeout remaining. Utah has scored 12 of the last 14 points to pull even.
The crowd deflated, stunned, and normally they're up during the break. It's totally quiet.
And Karl Malone talking to Charles Barkley. Olajuwon back outside. Sedale 3. Out of bounds 2. Houston.
Great diving tip there by Clyde Drexler. Sedale cannot get the jumper to go down.
49 seconds to play and a new 24. Olajuwon blocked by Ostertag, gets his own rebound outside again. Elliott along the baseline. Barkley comes up with it again, and he'll go to the line. Great work on the offensive glass by Charles Barkley.
The Rockets bailed out here. Elliott almost threw this one away, but Barkley dug it out. He got lower than anybody else. Now he's got another chance at the line.
That's 6 personals on Greg Ostertag.
Ostertag has been huge in plugging up the middle against Olajuwon. Stockton hanging at the call. Barkley a chance from the line.
pay tribute to that man. 16 points, 14 rebounds for Greg Ostertag tonight.
Try to stop Stockton.
Stockton on the move and the lead, tie game. And timeout for the Rockets. 22 for John Stockton. Slow start tonight and a big second half.
12 in the quarter, and we've been here before in game 4. Watch Stockton lean in with body control and get the floater, and now it is win or tie time for the Houston Rockets. But Sloan had no hesitation in calling Stockton's number. Look at the control. He was on his way down.
He's still right-handed, but right now the Rockets just play for 1.
2.8 seconds is a ton of time, so they have at least time to make 2 passes and get a shot. The Rockets have no fouls to give, and Stockton has been the man here in the fourth quarter.
For tonight, Malone has taken the majority of the shots as usual. He leads the Jazz in scoring with 24. Stockton right behind him. Hornacek has had a good night shooting the basketball. Maybe MVP time here for the Utah Jazz.
If anybody other than Stockton or Malone take this jumper, there'll be questions to ask for eternity.
Well, I don't know. Hornacek has been good in the game. So has Russell. Russell with 2 3-pointers. What they want is a good look. They want a chance to give themselves an opportunity to go to the finals, not go to overtime. Barkley in the Jazz huddle.
Charles Barkley looking over Antoine Carr's shoulder and came away smiling.
Again, problem here is you don't want to foul the shooter.
Who's going to guard Karl Malone? Barkley. They got a team on Antoine Carr.
Russell will inbound at half court. Stockton open 3. John Stockton sends the Utah Jazz to the NBA Finals. John Stockton finishes with 25 points, the last 3 at the buzzer. What a way to answer Eddie Johnson's winning 3-pointer in Game 4.
And what a great moment for the Utah franchise. Their proudest moment ever. Breakdown defensively. Nobody stays with Stockton. Barkley has to come out.
We have never seen this kind of emotion from Stockton and Malone, and finally their day has come, but the catch was too easy, and Stockton, who had been the hot hand in the quarter, finishes up the game 15 in the quarter with that 3.
25 points, 13 assists. The Utah Jazz says, yes, we are moving on with a 4-2 victory over the Houston Rockets. Rudy Tomjanovich says, there goes the season. Let's go to Jim Gray. Jim.
All right, thank you very much, Greg. John Stockton, you guys, 15 points for you in the quarter. Tell us about that last shot that's sending you to the finals.
Who knows? I'm just glad it went in. It's very exciting.
You had that big run there at the end of the quarter. I believe it was 15-4. Did you guys at any point over there think, hey, we're headed toward Game 7?
Not for sure. We knew we weren't out of it, and we knew our guys wouldn't give up. Nobody gave up, and all we had to do was get back in that ball game. They might tighten up a little bit, but I just feel so happy we got that done.
John, tell us, it's been a lifetime dream for you to get to the finals. Tell us about making this accomplishment now.
Absolutely. Nothing to say.
Can you beat Chicago?
We'll find out. Nobody thought we could beat Houston.
Carl, a lifetime dream to get to the finals. You said you might cry if you made it. Are you almost there in tears?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. You know, what we've been through as a team. Everybody stuck together and believed in each other. And it's just awesome. It's totally awesome.
How about that shot by John? Was diagram?
When it left his hand, it looked like it was good when it left. So I didn't know how to react because it looked good when it left. But yeah, I'm so proud of the guys. I really am. Everybody just hung in there. We got down. And we said we wanted to win it here, and it make it that much sweeter to win here because they've knocked us out a couple of times. God, it's an awesome feeling.
Carl, congratulations. We look forward to seeing you on Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Coach, was that just how you diagrammed it there?
Well, John made the shot. Everything looks good whenever they make the shot. Doesn't make any difference what you run.
All right, Jim Gray, as we take another look at the great shot by John Stockton, an outstanding end to an outstanding series, guys.
They had a terrific screen, and that's what allowed Stockton to get open, and he had all day to catch, and there was no decision about what he was going to do. Got it up and down. You see the clock, and I guess turnabout is fair play, and, you know, finally, justice is served.
And now the two best passing teams play in the finals, the battle of MVPs, Karl Malone, Michael Jordan. What could be better? Let's go.
They split 2 games in the series. Once again, our final score, the Utah Jazz 103, the Houston Rockets 100.